You're born in a den, which is just basically a smelly hole in the ground. The good news is your mom is there and she's super protective. She keeps predators away and goes out hunting to feed you and your siblings. The bad news? You and your siblings are basically useless blobs at this point, so she's doing all the work while you just lie there whining for milk. Your siblings aren't much better, except they're bigger than you, which means they keep stepping on your face while fighting over milk. Mom is out hunting for food most of the time, leaving you all to fend for yourselves in the cave. If she doesn't come back, well, you'll just sit there and wait for something to eat you. It's not a great system, but it's what you've got. One day, your mom decides it's time for you to leave the den. You're not ready, but she doesn't care. She drags you and your siblings out into the jungle, where everything either moves too fast to catch or wants to eat you. This is survival training, apparently. Lesson 1. Stay quiet. You fail immediately by stepping on a twig so loud it might as well have been a firecracker. The rabbit she was stalking bolts, and she gives you a look that could kill. You've never been more disappointed in yourself. Eventually, she catches something, a small bird, and lets you and your siblings share the leftovers. It's your first taste of meat, and you're not sure whether to be excited or horrified. Either way, you eat it, because you don't have a choice. After a few weeks of being hauled around like luggage, Mom decides it's time for you to contribute to society, or at least stop being useless. Welcome to Hunting 101. Today's lesson, crouching and stalking. You're bad at both. The rules seem simple. Stay low, move slow, and don't be seen. You fail at all three. Your crouch is clumsy, your steps are noisy, and you couldn't hide if your life depended on it. Every time you move, you step on a twig or kick a rock. Mom tries to show you how to do it, gliding through the bushes like a ghost. You copy her and crash into a tree. Your first target is a rabbit. It's sitting still, nibbling grass, and doesn't notice you. You try to sneak up on it, but halfway there you sneeze. The rabbit bolts, and you're left sitting in a dirt. Mom stares at you for a long time before walking away. She doesn't say anything, obviously, but the look says enough. Over the next few weeks, you keep trying. You mess up a lot. You trip over your own feet. You chase things that are too fast or too big. Sometimes you give up and sit in the grass, hoping a snack falls from the sky. It never does. But you don't stop trying. Slowly, you start to improve. You catch a mouse once, and another time you surprise a lizard. They're small wins, but they matter. You're still bad at hunting, but you're not hopeless anymore. Mom keeps helping you, but it's clear that she's slowly losing patience. You're following Mom through the jungle, minding your own business, when she stops so suddenly you nearly walk into her. She sniffs the air and gives you a shove towards some bushes. You don't ask questions, you just go. Then you see them. Wolves. A whole pack of them. They're big, they're mean-looking, and they're way too close. You freeze, but Mom does not. She steps forward, growling and twitching her tail. The wolves don't care. They keep coming. One of them moves closer, and Mom pounces. She bites him on the neck. The wolf yelps and runs back to its friends. They hesitate because clearly none of them want to be next. After what feels like forever, they finally run off, throwing a few dirty looks over their shoulders. Mom watches them go, then turns back like nothing happened. You're still shaking so hard you might vibrate out of the bushes. That night, you curl up next to her, trying not to think about how close you came to being someone's snack. At about 1 year old, you figured out how to stay quiet, how to move without making too much noise, and how to keep from tripping over yourself. You're not good at it, but you're not as bad as before. Mom's still hunting, but she's giving you more responsibility. Lately, she's been taking you on bigger hunts. She spots a deer and signals for you to help. You crouch low and creep forward, trying to get into position. But when the moment comes, you freeze. The deer takes off, and Mom has to chase it down herself. When she comes back, she doesn't look happy. This keeps happening. You try to help, but you're too slow or too loud. Most of the time, Mom ends up doing the hard work while you watch. It's not a great look, but at least you're trying. Then, one day, everything clicks. Mom corners a rabbit and leaves it to you. You take your shot, and this time you don't mess up. It's small, sure, but it's a real catch. You eat it quickly, more relieved than proud. After that first success, things start to change. Mom doesn't wait around as much anymore. She expects you to handle more on your own. Sometimes she even pretends not to see a squirrel or rabbit nearby, clearly giving you the chance to prove yourself. You mess up plenty of those chances, but when you do get it right, there's no applause or congratulations. She just keeps moving, like it's business as usual. That's how you know you're doing what you're supposed to. The animals you catch are still small, but they're yours. Each one feels a little easier, a little less like luck and more like skill. You're not exactly confident yet, but for the first time, you're not completely unsure of yourself either. Mom still steps in for the bigger hunts, the ones you're nowhere near ready for, but it's clear her role is changing. She's less teacher, more observer, making sure you're on the right track before she moves on. At around 20 months, your mom decides that you're ready to live on your own. Your first order of business is leaving her territory. Pumas don't do roommates, and sticking around would likely get you chased off. So you head out, wandering aimlessly while trying not to starve. It's not exactly a heroic start. Finding food isn't easy. You're used to your mom doing the hard part, but now it's all on you. Deer are too fast, rabbits are too smart, and birds are basically just mocking you at this point. You spend most of your time chasing things you'll never catch, though occasionally you get lucky with something small. A mouse here, a squirrel there. It's not glamorous, but it's food. Then there's the matter of finding a territory. Male pumas need a lot of space, like 100 to 150 square miles of space. That's bigger than some cities, and every square inch is already claimed by a bigger, scarier puma. If you accidentally wander into someone else's turf, you're greeted with growls, scratches, and the universal message of, get lost. After weeks of dodging fights and eating whatever you can catch, you stumble across a patch of land that looks promising. Plenty of trees for cover, a few watering holes, and no immediate signs of competition. You mark it as your own, scratches on trees, a little scent here and there, and hope no one stronger comes along to disagree. It's not much, but it's yours. A scrappy little slice of wilderness where you can hunt, nap, and occasionally fall out of trees without anyone watching. Life alone is tough, but hey, at least no one's stepping on your face for milk anymore. With your new territory claimed, life settles into a routine, if you can call constantly avoiding death a routine. You'd like to think you're getting the hang of it, but the truth is, you're still learning. Hunting is your main focus. Deer are your best bet. They're big enough to feed you for days if you can catch one. But they're also annoyingly fast and always seem to know when you're nearby. You've got to rely on stealth, creeping low to the ground, moving with the wind, and praying that your stomach doesn't growl at the worst moment. When you do catch a deer, it's worth the effort. You drag it to a quiet spot, eat as much as you can, and stash the rest. Of course, scavengers like coyotes and vultures always show up, hoping to steal a free meal. You chase them off when you can, but let's be honest, you're not always in the mood to fight a gang of angry birds over leftovers. Patrolling your territory is another big job. You walk the boundaries every day, checking for signs of intruders. If you find another puma's scent, you have to decide. Is it worth a fight, or should you back off and pretend you didn't notice? Most of the time you go with the second option. It's not cowardice, it's called survival. Then there's the occasional visitor. A female might wander into your territory, checking out the local real estate. If she likes what she sees, you might spend a few days together. No commitment, no strings attached. Then she moves on, and you go back to your usual schedule of hunting, eating, and avoiding eye contact with anything bigger than you. By the time you hit your prime, your life revolves around one thing, keeping what's yours. Forget just hunting for food. Every inch of your territory is a prize that other pumas want. It's less about survival now, and more about strategy. You're playing chess with predators who don't know what chess is, and the stakes are your life. Every few weeks, you find signs that someone's testing your boundaries. Claw marks on a tree, a fresh scent trail, or, worst of all, a poop pile. These are not friendly messages. They're challenges, and you can't ignore them. If you fight, it's a brutal, no-holds-barred match. Claws, teeth, growls. It's messy, painful, and never as quick as you'd like. Even if you win, you don't walk away unscathed. That's the price of keeping your turf. Then there's the constant balancing act of prey. If you hunt too much in one area, the deer move on, and you're left with nothing but rabbits and regret. So, you roam your range carefully, taking just enough to keep yourself fed without scaring off the buffet. It's a juggling act, and there's no one to teach you how to do it right. Skip forward a bit, and it's a regular day. You've patrolled your territory, chased off a nosy coyote, and scored yourself a decent meal. As the sun dips below the horizon, you're prowling along the edge of your range, nose to the ground, when you spot something unusual. A rabbit. It's hopping on a strange, flat surface that looks nothing like the rest of your territory. The ground smells weird, like hot rocks, and it gleams faintly in the fading light. Around it are bright, glowing lines that flicker and move. The rabbit doesn't seem to care. It's just sitting there, chewing lazily, completely unaware that you're watching. You freeze, crouch low, and lock your eyes on the target. This one won't get away. The flat ground doesn't bother you. It might even make things easier. You inch closer, your paws silent against the surface, muscles coiled like springs. Then, the moment comes. You leap. Mid-air, something changes. A deep, rumbling noise fills the air and a pair of blinding lights rush toward you. You don't know what it is, but it's fast. Faster than anything you've ever seen. There's no time to think. No time to adjust. And just like that, it's over. This is how 28% of pumas meet their end. Not from hunger, not from predators, but from cars. That rabbit, it hops away, oblivious to the chaos it left behind. The lights fade, the night goes quiet, and your territory, for the first time, doesn't belong to anyone.